Hey guys, just got a quick video for you today. I just wanted to take a really quick look at this knife. I got this in yesterday, so I haven't spent a ton of time with it, but I felt like I had to make a video on it because there's something about this that is just not that great, to be frank, but we'll get into that in a second here. But what is it? This is the Ria by CJRB. Now you may remember I took a look at the CJRB Gobi recently, and I actually really like that knife. I still have it. I still really like that knife, and I still carry it because that is a great knife, the Gobi. The Ria, I was looking forward to it. I like the lines of it. I really like the blade shape on this, but there's something about it that is not my favorite. But before we get to that, I just kind of want to go really quickly over what we got here. So this is a fairly small knife. I wear large size hands, so you can see kind of roughly the size that's going to be. For comparison, does have a pocket clip. So this is one thing about this. Now this doesn't affect me because I'm right-handed, but this may affect some of you. This is totally a right-handed knife. The pocket clip is not reversible for the left side, and the thumb stud is stuck for right-handed deployment. There is no way to reverse that, and it's just a single thumb stud, so it's not ambidextrous. So if you're lefty, you know, an extra reason for you to skip this knife. The handle scales are G10. I went with the jade color because I really like this color. It's probably one of my favorite colors to get G10 in. One thing I do want to note, the G10 from CJRB feels really nice. I like CJRB's G10 more than the G10 I felt on some other knives, which is kind of funny to me because this is kind of like a budget brand, a budget line from Artisan Cutlery, I think. And I think it's funny that, like, you know, a $30 knife has better feeling G10 than like a $60 knife. But, you know, it is what it is. So I really do like their G10, the way it feels and everything. I think it's really good there. The liners are just a little proud of the scales. They do stick out a little bit along the edges. They are very nicely polished. So they're not sharp feeling. They're very smooth and polished. I will say though, it's kind of like, you know, the liner comes up and then they polish the top of it, right? I have another knife that I'm going to do a review on. I wish I brought it over here with me, but it's in the other room right now. And that's the mini bag lighter from Kaiser. That one is similar in that the liners stick out a bit over the scales, but they not only polish the top, but they kind of like hit that corner at an angle too, so it's got like the top surface and then like an angled corner, right? And they polish both, so it ends up feeling very rounded, whereas this one is just like 90 degrees, okay? And they just polish the top. That's not a knock against it though, because it still feels fine, but it's a $30 knife, so you know that would be an extra step in machining, so I don't really blame them for that, but I just kind of wanted to try to describe how this feels to you, because you can kind of feel that, but it's not sharp. It is smooth. What else? Okay, so I guess we'll just kind of get into it here. The blade is, let me look at it here. Yeah, 12C27N steel, right? Did I get that right? Yeah, I got that right. It's a stainless steel, and it's pretty good. It's now I'm not really like a steel expert, so you might not want to quote me on this, but from what I've seen on the internet, it's kind of like around D2 in terms of at least that's what people tend to compare it to. From what I've seen, they kind of compare it to D2, and you know it's a little different. It is a stainless steel, so if you live in a very moisture prone environment, this would probably be a better bet for you. Overall, I do like the steel choice. I think, again, budget knife, $35 knife. I think the steel they went with is a totally fine choice. So what don't I like about it? Okay, this is kind of like the point of the video. What am I not a fan of with this? Well, it's the deployment. Okay, may look easy, but I've been practicing this for basically like a day and a half. The thing I don't like about it is, I mean, right away you can see that there's not much of a cutout for your thumb to get kind of under the thumb stud there. Wouldn't really be a problem, but it's so specific. This knife is very picky about the angle from which you flick, okay? If you get that angle wrong even a little bit, nothing's gonna happen, okay? So So you have to get it from the very, very specific angle. And that's compared to my other knives I own. So the reason that's a problem for me, it may not be a problem for you if maybe this is your first thumb stud opener, but for me, because I have other thumb stud openers already that are not as picky, my muscle memory is I've got a range of angles I could attack the thumb stud from, and it would still deploy the knife. That's my muscle memory, right? So like when I'm absent-mindedly wanting to open this knife, muscle memory kicks in, and I try to open it from like angles that this knife doesn't like, because this doesn't have as many angles which will deploy the knife. It's very picky about that. It's like a very specific angle you have to get for that thumb stud to work. Okay, there's another layer to this though. Second layer is there's a noticeable detent on the knife when it's closed. I wouldn't say it's strong. I do have knives with strong detents. This doesn't feel quite as strong as those, but it's still noticeable. Why that's bad though is it combines with the knife having a particular angle to which you could open it, right? So what happens is you have to apply a decent amount of pressure to overcome the detent. However, if you are wrong with your angle, nothing happens. So when you combine those two circumstances, what I do a lot on this knife is I just skin the crap out of my thumb, because I have to apply enough pressure to overcome that detent, but oftentimes I'm wrong about the angle, and what ends up happening is I just do this, and I'm pressing pretty hard. You probably can't tell on the camera, but I'm pressing pretty hard, and I'm shaving skin off my thumb when I do that. It's not like the thumb stud is slippery. It's not. It's your normal thumb stud. It's tiered. It's got little ridges on there. Thumb stud's fine, but it's just that combination of having to apply enough pressure to overcome the detent, but the knife being very picky about the angle from which you apply the pressure. You get a lot of false deployments on this, where it just doesn't even go. Where you're squeezing the crap out of it. You're applying a ton of pressure. I kind of forced it open there, but it's not enjoyable, to be honest. And that's kind of where I'm going with this. Is I like everything else about this knife. I like the way it looks. See, I wasn't even trying to do that there. That was like actually me trying to open the knife and failing because I didn't get the right angle. I like the way it looks. I like the price range it's in. I like the handle scale material, especially from CJRB, because again, I think they do G10 really, really well. I love the blade shape, like the actual silhouette of the blade. I think it's really, really cool looking. And I like the steel they use for the price range. There's a lot of things I like about this knife, and I think that's why I'm so upset, because it's like it's all soiled. All those nice things that I want to say, they're all ruined by this being just a pain to open. And part of me thinks, like, did I get a lemon? Because when I buy things, typically I like them because typically I research what I buy before I buy it, because I don't want to spend my money on something I'm not going to like. You know what I mean? So I research things before I buy them. And when I was looking at reviews for this, a lot of them said that it was very easy to open. Like, that was kind of one of the talking points in a lot of the reviews, was how easy this was to open and close. So I'm thinking, like, is something wrong with mine? Is it not supposed to be like this? I mean, I will say once it's open, it is running on bearings. So there's very little resistance there. So once you get it open, it snaps open really, really hard. Kind of too hard, actually. Like, it's weird. It's like, because, okay, so you have to apply enough pressure to overcome that detent. When this thing comes out, again, I wasn't even trying to do that there. It comes out really hard. The bearings, this would normally be a pro. It's weird. This knife makes me feel weird things, because normally I would say this is a pro, that there's like so little resistance in the pivot, that this is so free moving, but it's like weird, because it's like, it just feels angry, right? It's like, this is an angry feeling knife, because it's like, nope, not gonna do it. And then when it finally goes, you're pressing so hard, your thumb hurts, and this thing just like slams open, like a kid who got his Xbox taken away and he slams the door to his room. It's like, fine, I'll do it. It slams open. It's just like, it's an angry feeling knife to flip. Jesus, it's like, calm down. Why are you so angry? Why are you yelling? I I don't know. So what am I going to do? Jesus, this is a long video. I did not expect to talk this long. In my head, I was like, I'm just going to make like a 3-minute video, throw it up on YouTube, be done with it. I'm ranting. What am I going to do with it? Well, I think I got 2 options, right? I could return it. Now, normally, I don't really return things, like knives, anything, like literally anything. I'm not really that kind of person who returns stuff, because it's not that often I buy something where I want to return it, you know? But I'm kind of thinking about it with this one, because even though there's other things that I like about this, the thing I don't like is the opening and closing of the knife. And if opening and closing a knife is painful, both physically and emotionally, I kind of don't want to use the knife. And so I kind of like feel like I'm never going to reach for this ever, which makes me think maybe I should return it, you know? Now, it's not like a ton of money. It's like, what, like $35, you know? Thing is, though, I could use that $35 to put towards a feldspar, also by CJRB. I've been wanting to, that's been on my list to get anyways. And it's probably, I think, their most popular model, at least it's the one people with, is the feldspar by CJRB. And so, part of me thinks, like, do I return this and use the money towards a feldspar? You know? I might. Well, my other option is I could try to take the knife apart and bend the locking portion of the liner that way a bit, not all the way. But what I'm thinking that would do is, if it's not pressing as hard to the right, okay, it's not using as much pressure to keep the detent in. So in theory, you know, it would make the detent not as strong that's holding the knife shut. My thing with that, though, is if I do that, you know, if I modify the knife, I can't really return it, at least in good conscience. You know, I'm sure like a shittier person would totally return it, but for me, it wouldn't sit right with me to like fuck with a knife and then try to get my money back for it. So, you know, for me personally, it's like I gotta pick one. Either I return it, the money back, put the money towards a feldspar, or I keep it and I try to fix it. My thing is, if I try to fix it and it don't work, then I'm sitting with it, you know? And so I don't know. But yeah, I'm just disappointed. I really am. I wanted to like this thing so much because I think it looks nice, you know? And I'm sure, you know, like, you know, you're watching me flick it, you're like, oh, he's doing it pretty easily. I don't know what he's talking about. Okay, 1, I'm applying a ton of pressure to get that to happen. 2, I've been practicing this for like, you know, like literally like 36 hours straight. Like I've just been messing with this, trying to learn that angle that the knife likes. And for me, it's like, here's the thing, like, you know, it's like, why would I use this? I've got knives that are thumb stud openers that are so forgiving with the angle. I've got knives with thumb stud openers that I could literally push straight up on the thumb, not even give it any kind of angle left, just literally go straight up on it, and it deploys no problem with less pressure. So if I got those, why would I use this? You know? Why? All right. I'm kind of ranting at this point. I don't really normally like to slam things, and that wasn't really the intention of the video. Again, it's not a knock against the brand, because I also have the Gobi from CJRB, and I love the crap out of that knife. I think I'm going to pick up a feldspar, whether I return this first or not. I am going to eventually get a feldspar. And from the looks of those, I think I'm going to like that one too, but we'll see when I get it. So I'm saying, I think CJRB is a really good budget brand. They're so far, like right now in the last couple months, they've been my favorite budget brand, to be honest. Just this one didn't do it for me. Again, maybe I got a lemon. Maybe it's not supposed to be like this. I can only talk about the one I got, and the one I got is unpleasant, to say the least. This is a really long video. If you listen to the whole thing, 1, I'm impressed. 2, thank you. Listening to me just kind of go off on this. I really don't have anything else for you, so keep it real. Have a good day. Catch you later.